when it comes to being middle class. I do not have a clear picture of what that is. I know they say I'm middle class. I don't see it. My name is Courtney Brunson. I live in Des Plaines, Illinois. I have 3 children, work for a mental health nonprofit. I'm a director there, and I've been married for 12 years. Who wants toast?
Me!
I grew up in a predominantly white community, one of 2 black kids, fairly successful community. We were considered middle class. It wasn't like silver spoons, but we also didn't experience lack. My name is Carla Barber. I'm 45 years old. Originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I have moved around a little bit, now living in the Washington, D.C. area with my husband and my daughter, who's 9. My definition of middle class would be being educated, able to have our own assets and being established, whether that's a home or owning, property, navigate life with comfort without having a necessity mindset all the time. I think I realized I was in the middle class. My church was in the inner city of Cleveland. So we would go down there every Sunday, and I came to suddenly realize that not everyone had the same upbringing. A lot of blue-collar kids didn't have the same access in their schools. Okay, I live in a different world. But then the other side of that was my senior year in high school, I was in the Jack and Jill cotillion. I wasn't in Jack and Jill, but I was in their cotillion. Brought in at the last minute, I guess, to fill in for someone. And I realized there's a whole other world above where we were that I wasn't even part of. They all went to private school, and they had access to things. And I realized, okay, I'm firmly in the middle.
Growing up, what I assumed middle class was the 2-parent home, the picket fence, but once reality set in for myself, my vision changed. My name is Nichelle Robinson. I live in the Inglewood community. I am a training manager for Open Kitchens food service department. For me, growing up, one of the biggest concerns was not for me to live paycheck to paycheck. So that made me learn how to live within a certain range. Being able to be home when my kids were home, which was one of the most important things. It really platformed me to be able to do what I do now. It allowed me to be more financially free. I was able to purchase my home. I've been able to travel.
It's good, actually. It's really good.
I'm actually planning a trip to Greece for myself and my family for my 50th birthday. Education has played a great part in my finances and where I've desired to go. I think for me, I thought I wanted to go to college when my daughter was younger, and things just didn't happen out that way, right? So learning how to pivot and to make the best of the situation I had really worked out to my favor, which gave me more influence on making sure that my children had that option.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
For me, education has played a huge role in my current financial status. I don't believe I would be where I am today without my education. I had student loans. I had the assistance of parents. I also worked 90% of college. I did my FAFSA on my own, and so would have definitely loved to have known more about that. Hindsight is 2020, and so definitely want to be able to teach my children that so that they won't have that burden hanging over their head when they get older, to be more financially literate.
I paid for the University of Michigan through my financial aid package, which was loans, grants, and a scholarship. I did get assistance from my mother, but the other school I applied to in Ohio was just 100% loans. They didn't offer any sort of grant.
Here in the state of Illinois, there's a program where if you have student loans and you're buying a home, that they'll help cover or get rid of some of that student loan debt. And so there's more to educate yourself, the better. I bought my first home. I was 30 years old. It was a very proud moment. I even had a white plastic picket fence outside my home. It was in the suburbs. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting there. I'm not the same kid that grew up in the inner city single family home. That home was a duplex.
I had this idea in my mind that I was gonna be a homeowner by the age 30. I'm not sure where it came from. I'm just gonna do something by the age of 30 and I'm gonna own a home. It was 2008, right when the housing bubble burst. So these properties in Florida that were once $350,000 were like $150,000, $120,000. My first townhome was $127,000. So although I wasn't financially really in the place to have the down payment, I got some help from my mother. God bless her, thank you, Mom. It was just like a huge accomplishment for me, and it was just nice having something that was considered mine.
One of the best decisions was to buy a house that had went into foreclosure. I've always lived in a multifamily unit, and in 2017, I purchased my multi-property for myself and my daughter.
I wish more people understood that it's a struggle to try to achieve Black middle class status. One of the ways to build wealth in this country is through real estate, and that was denied to Black folks so long. With redlining and other, predatory loan practices. We're still seeing the effects of redlining today and what that caused, that great divide. I think we're still seeing the effects of things like eminent domain play a real big issue with Black communities. Tulsa, Oklahoma hasn't recovered from Black Wall Street being burned down in the 1920s. You still see in Detroit from the race riots. You still see in Chicago from the race riots, where these were thriving communities. These were thriving Black communities that were having economic wealth and development, and within a night, went from being thriving to non-existent. The reparations would help so much. It would help the economy as a whole. I think reparations look different than handing someone a check.
Hey, how was your day?
It was good.
Yeah, good. I had a travel business. My business died. COVID certainly was a sentinel event that could have destroyed. A lot of people lost their businesses. I almost didn't go back to it. I was in the government. My husband got a job with the government, and being able to just take advantage of those governmental annual increases. So really, we just listed all of our debts from largest to smallest, or smallest to largest, however you want to look at it, and we just knocked off the little ones one by one. Once we both got focused and were on one accord, it became pretty easy to do. So we paid it off in May of 2020.
We have a program that's called Buy Back the Blocks, which is one of the programs that I took part in. It helps to give you the understanding of what property owning means. It gives you ideas on how you can benefit your community by staying in your community. For me, I believe more and Black and brown families are going into the middle class. One is because we are learning how to live as a unit together.
My aspiration for my daughter would be, I want her to live her authentic life, whatever that looks like. I want to support her in pursuing her dreams. I also don't want her to have to worry about how she's going to pay for that. I think that gets carried over because there's still trauma that's being shed as we forge to a more successful future. So we did set up a trust to kind of put all of our assets in the trust and be able to bequeath things to her, making sure our kids don't go backwards, but go forwards.
The one building that we have now is in a trust for the family, and all funds from the building are directed to my oldest, which is my daughter.
For my children, my hopes for them, that their dreams come true. I have one daughter every day who tells me, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a doctor. So I want to see her become a doctor. I want to see her be the greatest doctor ever. Generational wealth is stability. It is growth. It is being able to pass on assets and not liabilities, to know that in 5 generations, my family could be in that 1%. Let's come together as a community. Let's use our power and focus on an abundance of wealth, happiness, and joy, build that legacy.